What type of legislation would have to go through in order to, reverse 100, 200 years of like corporate dominance and
Right.
judicial
It seems
authority?
discouraging. We were really discouraged too after the first day. The first day we left, we were like, okay, well. Yeah. But he said that it's just the beginning, and he thinks it's going to gain a lot of steam because in Washington, Colorado, Pennsylvania, there's like 200 counties or something that have had ordinances be successful. So it's actually gaining a lot of steam because it's a relatively new movement. So that all happened in 200 years, and a lot of localities have already reversed a lot of that damage in 20. So it can seem discouraging, but it's really about like local work, which I think is why some people shy away from it, because it is like get down, write an ordinance, organize work in your town. It's not so much of the show activism, but it's really powerful in the long run. And they're gaining a lot of control of their own state because there's so many counties in Oregon are passing stuff like that. So county to state, state to country, hopefully, but it isn't.
And that's just like local ordinances that
Right.
are like
At
trying
this
to
point,
ban
it's just
certain
local
industries, not like industry in general. Like if something
No.
like
No.
like an ordinance wants to like stop a Walmart from coming in, like that's what you're talking about, or like they want to ban fracking.
Yeah, we're talking about stuff that, because what
Like
an ordinance,
individual.
yeah, what an ordinance is they state their rights as a community, and then they state the prohibitions based on what their rights are. So we have the right to this, so you can't do this because it would infringe on our right. So it's not a ban on industry in the community, it's a ban on what an industry would do that would damage a community. Is that, yes.
I believe like a local example of success would be Green Bay preventing a Walmart from being opened up in downtown.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not all hopeless. I mean,
not.
another thing is like this is all really reversible. I mean, one thing that you can also do is just vote for the damn congressional elections. I mean, people don't vote for their congressmen, and these people are the ones who make the laws.
Sure, yes,
A lot of
vote.
it. So, I mean, my like representative in Congress from like Winnebago County, he's all pro corporate, and he's not getting out the House of Representatives because nobody really votes for Congress, so he's guaranteed a seat there.
Absolutely vote, that's the next one. Everyone should vote, yes.
Yeah, a lot of us here have now been over to the frac sand area, and the latest trip was Jonathan and me, and then the trip back in January. And what Jonathan and I saw was even more horrendous than what we saw back in January. And the thing we kept hearing from everybody along the way was that these local governments just, they didn't even put up a fight. I mean, they just caved right away. Like every county we were in, Jackson County, Eau Claire County, Chippewa County, Dunn County, Barron County, they all said, well, our county government just says, okay, your mine sounds pretty safe to us, go ahead, right? And then the state DNR is the same thing. They're not even monitoring the dust and the groundwater. And, it's pretty hard not to come back home with this like really depressed state of mind about it. But I think the important thing is, now you mentioned the Community Rights Network, and I think networking is going to be the key thing, because even when you elect better people, then the mining companies come in and put a whole lot of money into the next election. They elect their people, and they overturn everything you just did, and so you have this sort of like checkmate, like a game of chess or something. But one thing I will say to the positive is Bernie Sanders has really kicked the door open by talking about, we need a political revolution. I can't imitate his Brooklyn accent, but now the door is open. You could talk about political revolution. Whoa, and that would essentially what needs to be done. To the question you asked, it's not one legislation. It's not one act. It's not one White House executive action. It's a whole system, and it goes way back to the Supreme Court. So, I mean, everything has to change. The legislatures, Congress, White House, the governors, the courts, the lower courts,